Welcome to our bonus video on how to open a brokerage account. We decided to add this video to the Next Generation Workshop, which is a workshop that basically helps individuals with understanding their money, how to take control of their finances, and to build what we call financial abundance over time. This video is a perfect add-on to the Next Generation Workshop as far as if a person really wants all the necessary tools that it takes to be successful financially, especially if they want to take control of their own personal finances. So we looked at a number of individual brokerage companies, and we found a company called Etrade to be by far the easiest to open a brokerage account and to get started investing as soon as possible. So what we're going to do is do a step-by-step tutorial today on how to actually open a brokerage account. And you can follow along if you choose to do so, or you can go back and revisit this video at a later date if you decide to open a brokerage account. So this is just basically a helpful tool. What we recommend is that you look at Google and type in the word E-Trade to get to the home page that we're about to go to. We're at the home page of Etrade, and you can see that it's a pretty busy page. So what we want to do to actually get started is click on Open Account. Now I'm in a remote location at this point in time, so my browser may be a little bit slower than most, so bear with me if possible. This is a pretty busy page as well because Etrade allows you to open an investment trading account, an individual retirement account, and it also allows you to open a basic banking account. So what we want to focus on today is opening an investment and trading account. So what we want to do is click on investment account. So now we're at the first page of our application, and all this basically is an opportunity to tell us thank you for choosing Etrade and welcome to the process. So what we're going to click on to begin the process is begin my application. Now Etrade allows you to open an individual account, a joint account, a custodial account, or a retirement account. Of course, the joint account is for if you're married. Custodial account is if you're going to oversee a child that's under the age of 18. You're going to oversee that account for that child until the child turns the age of 18 and is able to take over the account on his or her own. Then, of course, if you're looking at getting into opening a retirement account, you have the opportunity to plan for your future through retirement if you choose to open that type of an account. And as you move down the page, you will see the block that talks about margin accounts with options, and cash accounts. Now, I highly recommend if you're a novice investor in the near future, you stay away from the margin accounts, simply because what this is if you have $2,000 or more in your account, it allows you to borrow against equity that you have in your account already. The problem with margin accounts is if the stock market incurs a sudden crash, margin calls come in, and this is where wealth is really lost. This is where individuals who have margined their accounts at a higher price range suddenly find themselves in deep debt. So until you become a mid-range investor or a professional investor, I would highly recommend that you kind of stay away from the margin accounts in the near future. And the same thing with options. Option trading is more for the advanced investor. So this is definitely not an area for a novice investor. So what we want to look at today is opening a cash account. So we should have, if you're looking at opening a joint account with your significant other, you can click joint account at the top. If you're going to open this account and it's only going to be in your name, just click individual. And if you're a novice investor, we recommend or encourage that you click on cash account, and then of course read the note at the bottom of the page before clicking continue. Okay, so it's thanking us for choosing Etrade. So what this is a page that allows you to, if you already are a member, should I say, of Etrade, then you can populate this area that says I am an Etrade customer already. If you're not, click the top one that basically talks about I am new to Etrade. So then once you selected the appropriate block, click continue. So now this is where we want to take the time to put in our personal information. So what we're going to do is pause the video. We're going to populate certain areas so that we can move through the video fairly quickly. It won't take any more time than it needs to be for us to move through this video. At the same time, you can come back and revisit this video over and over again, but just for the sake of time and to prepare everything properly, we want to take our time to populate the areas ahead of time. So we're going to pause the video and we'll get back with you as soon as all the areas are taken care of. Okay, we're back and ready to move forward in the process of opening our brokerage account. You may hear a little noise in the background, and that's simply because we're in a remote location, so we ask that you bear with us on it. We decided to shoot the video in this location simply because we felt as though it would be more valuable to go ahead and get the video out than to wait and have all the conditions to be perfect. So let's move forward. The first area that we left off on was the personal account holder's contact information. So this is where we're going to basically list all our personal information that's going to be tied to the account itself. So we've pre-populated most of the areas that we need to move through. So some of these areas we're going to move through fairly quickly, and some of the areas we're going to take the time to explain in detail. But this is self-explanatory. Whether you're a Mr. or Mrs., your first name, your last name, and if you're a junior or senior on the suffix. Then what we need you to do is move down to the next block where it says permanent street address and put your appropriate mailing address, the address where you can always be contacted at. Check the box if applies to you. This is if you want another address on your account. It's up to you. As you move down to the email address, use the email address that you're most commonly going to use, you most often will check. And then it's going to ask you for a home, business, and mobile phone number. The one number that you have to put in is your home phone number. Some of us only have mobile phones, which makes perfect sense. So if you only have a mobile phone, put that mobile phone number under the home phone number. And once you've populated this area, then we want to click continue to move forward. Now we're at the tax and citizenship information page. This is perhaps one of the most important pages that you're going to deal with, where you have to put in your tax ID information, basically social security number and your date of birth. So once you've entered your social security number and your date of birth, disregard where it says check the box and click continue. Okay, we're now at the employment information page. This is where you're going to list if you're self-employed or you employed. This is where you're going to list your company information. Once you have that appropriate information in, you can scroll down to, it will ask you specific information about the company that you're a part of, whether you're a company owner or you find yourself being employed with a particular company. The first box is basically asking you, are you a registered broker with the Security Exchange? If you're a professional broker, then you really don't need this tutorial. And the next line will ask you, are you a director in a publicly owned company? Do you sit on the board? Are you a lead decision maker and a stock owner in a publicly owned company? And then of course you have the third area, which talks about 10% ownership within the company itself. Are you a 10% shareholder in any publicly owned company? Most of us will most likely click no, but if you find yourself clicking yes in any of these areas, then answer those questions appropriately. But if not, just click no and click continue. Okay, so now we should have our contact information taken care of, our tax and citizenship information taken care of, and our employment information taken care of. So now what we're going to talk about is our investment profile area. In the investment profile, I'm going to expand this box out, but in the investment profile area, it talks about what's your investment objective: speculative, growth, income, or capital. It's up to you to choose what particular area it motivates you, your objectives for opening a brokerage account. But we're looking at growth. The average investor would most likely choose that. What's your investment experience? Are you a limited investor, a good investment, or an excellent investor? A limited investor is fairly new to investing. A good investor is a moderate, somewhat investor. An excellent, you would most likely find yourself on a professional level or close to it. So what we're going to do is click good. And then it's asking you, how often do you plan on making trades? 10 or more per month, 4 to 9, or 0 to 3. We're going to pre-select 4 to 9. That's a fairly safe number. And then it talks about your income and net worth. We pre-selected these particular areas, but it's up to you to go and select what your annual income is, your liquid net worth, and your total net worth is. Once you have those particular areas populated, then we want to scroll down to what is the purpose and expected use of the account. We click savings for retirement. Now, there's other areas that you can choose, which is completely up to you as a new investor, but we pre-selected savings for retirement. The line below that is asking you, do you plan to have anyone else as another investor on your account? Because keep in mind, earlier you clicked individual account. So if you clicked individual, then this is the area you should be looking at. Is you should be checking circle no. So once you have that area populated, then we want to continue. So it talks about accounts feature, what you want basically out of your account. When you go to actually invest the first time and you send money into Etrade, it's going to sit in what they call a holding area. So you have several choices of where this money can actually sit. We encourage individuals to look at the area that's already pre-populated, but it's completely up to you to decide what you choose. But we're going to pre-select JP Morgan, which is the liquid asset for the money marketing fund. But if you click on more choices, you can see that your money can basically sit in a cash balance program, or it can sit in a municipal money market fund. So it's completely up to you what you choose. If you're struggling with which area to choose, then I highly encourage you to take the time to research it. But just for what we know about previous investments, is the pre-selected area for liquid asset money marketing under JP Morgan is perhaps the best choice for us. Now what it also allows you to do is to request a debit card and check writing privileges against your brokerage account. This is completely an individual choice. We have pre-selected no. If you select yes, what you will find yourself doing is receiving a debit card and check writing privileges. Now keep in mind, you don't have to take both. You can take one or the other. It's completely up to you if you choose to do so. But it is a way to access money in your account as quickly as possible if you find yourself needing to in an emergency situation. But again, this is completely up to the individual. So once you've made your decision, click continue to move forward in the process. Okay, we made it to the select documents for electronic delivery page. All this basically is a page that allows you to receive your correspondences or your statements from Etrade electronically. It's completely up to you. If you choose to pre-select these blocks, then all contact from Etrade will be done via email. If you choose to unselect these blocks, then of course this information will be mailed to you. Take the time to ensure that you have an email address that is appropriate, that's easy for you to be contacted in. Make sure you have a good email address in this block area. And once you have that information populated or unpopulated, then click continue to move forward. Okay, this is your opportunity to review all the information that you have put in to establish your brokerage account. If this information is correct, then you can move forward in the process. If any of the information is incorrect, you can click the edit buttons here on the right hand side in the top right hand corner to address any discrepancies you may find. But if you find that all of this information is appropriate and complete, then click continue to move forward in the process. Okay, we've made it to your terms and conditions page. This is the page that you want to take the time to actually read through to ensure that this information is completely understood and that you agree to these terms and conditions. And if you find that you do, then click continue to move forward in the process. Okay, this is your opportunity to create a password and a user ID to actually log into your newly created Etrade account. Now, if you're an existing member and you want to link your new account to your existing account, then you would click yes in this particular block, and it will ask you for your existing information. But most likely, we want to click no if we're a new customer to Etrade. So at this point in time, we're going to attempt to create an account. So it has to be 6 to 32 digits with no special characters, such as the number sign or percentage sign. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go Don _ 3232. So now we're going to create a password. So the password should be a combination of letters and numbers. And we're clicking continue. Okay. At this point in time, we have done everything that we possibly can to open this account. All of our information should be both accurate and complete. If so, you should have a reference ID number sent to you by Etrade. What Etrade will actually do is take one full business day to review your information to ensure that it's accurate and complete. And if they find that the information is correct, then what most likely will happen is you will receive email confirmation basically telling you your account is open. So your next step once your account is open is to actually fund it. So you're going to have to work out with Etrade how to best get your funding in place so that you can begin investing. But at this point in time, you have done pretty much everything that you can possibly do to get the account open. You should know something within the next day or two. I hope that this tutorial has been extremely helpful to you as a future investor, and I wish you all the luck when it comes to creating financial abundance over time. With that being said, this completes this tutorial.